Hi, everybody.
Hello. How you doing?
Happy Saturday.
Yes, indeed.
Welcome to CysterWigs After Dark. I'm Heather.
And I'm Nigel. Hi.
Hi.
And hello to Liz and May and Cheryl, who have said hello.
Hello. I did not advertise this one as much as I have in the past. Like, here's the absurdity of it just for a second. Back in the day, and Liz, you've heard me give this spiel before. I know you have, so please bear with me for just a moment. But basically, like, back in the day, when I was first on YouTube, YouTube would actually do a lot of the heavy lifting of the advertising for me. And the same is true of all creators back then. YouTube would do a lot more to try to incentivize us to continue posting because it wasn't one of those things people were that dependent on back then. And it definitely wasn't the only game in town. And so back then, you know, like for example, when we would post videos, they would send emails to people and let them know that those streams were starting. And now I have to basically advertise my advertising. Think about that. I have to do marketing work on behalf of YouTube so people will see my marketing.
Yeah.
What the hell? Oh my goodness. I think I need a drink.
You need a drink?
I think I need a drink. It's Saturday.
Shall we make this week's cocktail, my treasure?
I think we should go to it. Let's do it a little differently. So I'm gonna put the disclaimer up about how we're a little looser. There will be alcohol. There may be cussing. I said HE double hockey sticks already, and that may not be the first time because we're going to talk about some spicy stuff and food and get loose with it.
May's comment is fantastic.
What did she say?
I managed to sneak moist into every single conversation this week. Thank goodness we had rainy weather. CysterWigs making a difference. Thank you, May.
That's right.
Because
we're making the world a moister place.
And we cannot let the prudes beat us out on the word moist.
All right. Disclaimer, drink. I gotta get out of your way so people can see. Woo! Hi there, wig lovers. But as I was saying, there may not be as many people this time around because, you know, I'm just kind of seeing what happens when I don't do all of that extra work on behalf of YouTube to get people to watch the streams. If I'm going to do all this work, I might as well just move the whole show to Vimeo at this point. I wait your feedback on that last statement for sure.
Okay, folks. This weekend's cocktail. Let me turn this camera off, otherwise you'll just be staring at my shapely butt.
And the problem is.
Okay.
Well, that's my butt. You're right.
Yeah. All right. This week's cocktail was something I came up with kind of accidentally. Like a week or two ago, I just mixed up a drink for Heather as an attempt to see what I can do with some ingredients, and it worked out okay. That was on her makeup live stream, so I figured, hey, let's make it a regular weekend cocktail thing with an actual recipe. And problem is, I couldn't think of a name for it. It was nameless. It was nameless, and it was pink, so therefore I called it the Pink Nemo. So anyway, what you do is you start off with a tall glass with some frozen sliced strawberries in it. Then you take 1 shot of strawberry rose vodka. Marvelous. Then you take some rose water. This is the stuff we've got from Lebanon, from the Middle Eastern market. Good stuff. Little splash of that. Just a splash. There you go. There we go. Drizzle of rose water. And then put a little dash of pomegranate syrup. Now this is pomegranate molasses, and it's ultra concentrated and ultra thick, so you don't need much of this. And I worry that it's going to be It's not going to mix very well, but we'll see how it goes. Little drizzle of that. Wow, is that concentrated? Oh boy. My entire face just sucked in on itself.
We're getting British with it, honey.
We need some ruby red grapefruit juice. This is the diet stuff. And you top that up to about halfway. A little bit more.
This is such a pretty drink.
And then dilute with water. And then give it a stir, because that pomegranate molasses has just settled on the bottom. Give it a little stir, make sure everything's mixed in properly. Give it a taste. Right, that one's mine. And this one's yours, my treasure. So there you go, folks, the Pink Nemo.
Thank you.
And it would be a little more pink if I actually had the really red grenadine, but it was brown this time, so oh well. Back to you, my treasure.
Excellent. Thank you, honey. Hooray. Okay. Did you make a thing here? I'll put that on the screen so people can see what the recipe was in case you're interested in making it. Hi, everybody who's just joining us. I noticed we had a few more people pop in here.
Oh, and Nikki, you can make this without the alcohol as well, so just as refreshing and fruity.
Yeah, I actually don't drink that often. It's usually
just these live streams.
I know. I'm just like super professional, you know. But like the thing is, like, I'm a professional drinker on camera. No, yeah, kind of, sort of. Yeah. Living the dream. But anyway, like, I know. But that's basically what happens here. And then the rest of the week, I'm a total, complete teetotaler. Like, it's kind of like I don't even cheat on my diet. Usually, I work out 4 days a week. I'm super boring. So it's like when I cut loose, it's for real. And then the rest of the time, it's all on the up and up.
You know, I can't drink much because of my medication. So, you know, this is it for me. The one a week.
Ooh.
Peppy?
That's zippy. That made me flap. That was literally like, no, I'm not autistic. And then, sorry. I'm making fun of myself, by the way. Please don't think I was making fun of people who are not me specifically, flapping organically. But anyway, all right, so that was the Pink Nemo. I also wanted to talk really briefly about, my skin situation, and the reason why is because I'm putting the cyst back in CysterWigs. Ew. But no, sometimes I like to take a little bit of time to kind of talk about things that are going on with my condition, because it's the reason why I lost my hair and the reason why I got into makeup and all that stuff. I'm not going to show you what's behind the curtain here, but I do want to talk a little bit about it. I'm kind of letting my skin breathe and kind of taking care of it a little bit more closely, simply because I went off of my spironolactone for a few days while I was waiting to get a refill. I was just too busy and it kind of skipped my mind. And instantly, my skin started to break out. So I know that breakouts are something that is a tough topic, and everybody's trying to sell you a lotion, a potion, a cream. And I have to tell you that if you have a hormonal condition like I do, no topical treatment by itself is going to be sufficient. You need like an entire arsenal of things to kind of keep it at bay. And for me, the biggest weapon in my artillery is literally hormone blockers. Now, this is actually like, I believe they call it a potassium-sparing diuretic. Oh, the geekiness. But yeah, I think that's correct. And so, I'm wearing the glasses today, so I'm playing the part. But essentially, this is technically a water pill that they give to people with like high blood pressure. So if you don't have high blood pressure, like my blood pressure was fine, and you go on this pill, it takes a little getting used to. You'll get dizzy at first. It's not a pleasant experience, but if you ride it out, it actually suppresses free androgens in your system. So your hair loss slows down. You stop growing facial hair. You know, if you're like me and you have PCOS and that's an issue, like it was for me, you know, I'm still kind of a occasional plucker. No shame. It's just reality, right? We're among friends. Who cares? And then I also have to deal with the acne, and the androgens are what cause extra sebum production, which causes the acne to be real deep and real gross and real big. So because I was off of this for literally like what? How many days, honey? Like
3.
3 days. Just 3 days. That's all it took.
Well, 2.5.
2.5 days. That's all it took. My skin was perfect. Like perfect. I made the video for Patreon subscribers with the Biba palette, and my skin was great. I was in good skin. That is past tense, because in 2.5 days off that pill, you can see what a difference that made. I have like, and again, I'm not like beating myself up. I'm just kind of trying to share some of this experience in case it's helpful. Like all of these are what I consider like normal acne, right? They're little, they'll resolve on their own. I just need to not play with them and just kind of let them be, keep it clean. They'll go away. This, not even in the same ballpark. When you get cystic acne, you know it. It's very, very painful and red. And in some cases, you have to either go to a dermatologist and get it lanced, or, you know, like me, try to do it yourself because it happens so frequently with a doctor's blessing, and just make sure you have a very good prescription strength topical antiseptic handy. And so that's what I did. I am definitely never going to be never, it will not happen. I'm not making a demonstration of how I take care of that. I'm not Dr. Pimple Popper, and that's gross. I don't want that being public, but just know that, so yeah, sorry. Or you're welcome. I don't know, whichever your position is, but no, ew, no. Talking about it for me is edgy enough, I think. But yeah, I just try to keep it covered. I use, I did actually lance this last night. I removed the cyst. It's gross, but it was little enough. If it were bigger, I would go to the doctor and have the doctor do it just so I don't get a scar. But people ask me all the time, how do I not have scars? I literally just have one, and it is right here. I have a raised scar, but for the most part, I've managed to keep my skin pretty scar-free. And it's because I'm very diligent about making sure I keep it clean, use antibiotics. I take my hormone blockers. I keep it covered if it does get gross. And I also use retinol, which I highly recommend. I have tried prescription strength retinol products, and they dry my skin out something fierce. I mean, I can get used to them so they don't irritate, but they're definitely just too drying for me. So what I like instead are over-the-counter things. So this is actually another good thing to kind of share, and then I'll stop talking so Nigel can talk about food, because that sounds like fun. But you know, I like to kind of fill a little bit, you know, vamp a little bit before the main song starts. So the two that I have tried most recently are Paula's Choice Intensive Wrinkle Repair Retinol Serum with licorice and kelp. And both of these are going to have much less of a retinoid in them. And these are a retinoid because that's a little bit more shelf stable than the prescription stuff, right? So the irritation is not going to be as intense. Getting used to it doesn't take as long. And the thing I really like about these serums is that they have a moisturizing agent in them. In both cases, they have squalane in them, but they have two different kinds of squalane. They have a plant-based squalane in this Paula's Choice one, and this ordinary one that I've been trying, which is the Gran Active Retinoid 5% with squalane. This is actually animal derived. You can tell that it's animal derived. It also needs to be refrigerated, which this one does not. So I'm not a huge fan of this one, honestly. I don't like the squalane that is derived from shark livers. Not a huge fan.
Aww.
Yeah, not a huge fan. Not a huge fan of where they get it. I didn't even realize that that's how they got it until I got this already and started to research it. And I was like, this is making my face break out. Like, a product with retinoid in it should not be making my face break out. I mean, I've had issues with dry skin, but I think it's literally this animal-derived squalane, and I'm just too sensitive to it. Plus, ethically, I like sharks. They're good for the ecosystem. Apex predators are good. We like them.
And you can see videos of them coming up to divers for being petted and stroked and
Yeah,
stuff.
as long as they're not trying to eat me, I'm very pro shark. So
funny thing is, I mean, squalene, you can tell from the name it comes from sharks.
Mm-hmm. How?
Squallow.
You act like I should know what that word is.
Well, I'm a biologist. So.
Tell me.
Well, it just means the squallow part of squalene means shark. So
I had no idea.
Yeah, sorry.
I had no idea. But I can highly recommend this Paula's Choice stuff. It's beautiful, and I can use it every night. It didn't really dry me out, no irritation, very moisturizing. The squalane seems very clean. I don't have to refrigerate it, so it's not as much of a shock when I put it on. And I'm not being paid to talk about any of these products. I just wanted to pass that info along. And the antibiotic is prescription. So both this and the androgen blockers, prescription. So I guess the moral of the story is if you have cystic acne that is recurring, go to a doctor because, you shouldn't have to live with that. It's hard to deal with. It's painful. It's disfiguring. Take care of yourself. It's important. You're worth the time and the effort. So, all right, PSA over. You want to go ahead and take over, honey?
Okay. Well, didn't you want to talk about the building?
Oh. Well, hold on.
Okay.
The other thing is, did you want to say hi?
Oh, of course. Right. Okay.
Why aren't you on the screen?
Because I'm about to.
Oh, okay, cool.
Right. Okay. Had one of my former co-workers, Gary, and who made me godfather to his sons before I left England, call me a couple of days ago on a video call. Brought the lads in, so I want to do a big Mandalorian-style shout-out to Gary and Jack and Jake for the call, and because they caught one of our videos before, and if they're watching today, Alit Onisha Taldin, Oya!
Hello. Oh, it was lovely talking to them on the phone.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was really fun, and Jake was, during the course of the conversation, Jake was dressed up as Harry Potter, did Avatar: The Last Airbender martial arts moves, and whipped out a lightsaber. Yeah,
it was pretty amazing.
It was like all nerdery in one phone call. It was fantastic.
Though I will say that I kind of loved how Jack was just over it. I was like, you know what? I feel that. Like, that would probably be me in that situation, too, because I had a little brother that was a complete ham as well. And I would just be like, all right, read a book or something, play video games. Yeah. I'm feeling that. So.
And to answer your question, Shelley, tonight we're drinking a Pink Nemo. We've got the full recipe and the mixing at the beginning. It's frozen strawberries, vodka, fruit juice, couple additives.
It's very zippy. Woo, that's zippy. It's nice. It's very strawberry flavored.
And I do the full thing at the beginning of the video, so don't worry, you can catch us on the replay. It doesn't take very long. It's very early in, so you don't have to waste too much time looking for it.
Yeah. And this is going to be brief, but I did want to acknowledge because I saw this in the news today. And now for something completely different in classic British gallows humor style, a really nasty cult leader died today. So bye, Ernest, and long live Rex's erection. Now, if you've ever lived in Cuyahoga Falls, which I actually have. My undergraduate degree was from the University of Akron. So I'm really, really familiar with this church. And you can't live in that area long without meeting people who have either escaped that church or whose parents are in it, or they have horror stories about it. It's pretty bad, actually. And I'm not going to go into it because it's a downer. But I do know several survivors, and I just wanted to toast them. I wanted to toast them all because, I know in some cases it made their lives a living hell. And ding dong, the witch is dead, essentially.
Can I interrupt for something?
Of course.
I'm going to teach you a Mandalorian toast.
Oh, yes?
Koyashi.
Am I going to say like a cuss word and not know it?
No, Koyashi.
Koyashi.
Now, let me translate that for you.
Here, it's going to be like a cuss word in a foreign language I don't know.
No, well, possibly.
Someone's going to watch this and be like, how dare they?
No, but Koyashi in Mandalorian serves multiple purposes. It is a toast. It is a farewell, and it's a military order, and it means stay alive.
Very, very good. Yes.
Thought that would be apt. Koyashi.
Every time you say that, though, you know what instantly runs through my head?
What runs through your head, my treasure?
This is how you can tell I used to be a music major and then I switched.
Yeah.
Koyana's Katsi. Ooh, that was low. That has some bass to it. It was the wrong. Yeah, I was totally not anywhere in the right octave, but.
Oh, man, that's all right. No worries. You can catch the replay for the bits you missed.
And we're taking forever to get to the point anyway, so
Yeah.
you have good timing, I think.
Yes.
I think that's a good cue for you to take over. You want to switch seats now?
I can go from here if you like.
All right. Well, then you ought to turn your mic on, and I'll turn mine off. Synchronized swatches now.
Done.
All right.
Okay. Well, today's topic, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, is food and drink in Britain. Now, we like our food in Britain, and I think the food in Britain has a very undeserved reputation for loads of reasons, which I won't drag out right now. But there is... Yeah, I made sure I spelled that. I thought I misspelled something there. But, yeah, theoretically, there's a joke that there are 13 meals in Britain. Breakfast, brunch, 11s, 12s, lunch, après lunch, tiffin, tea, supper, St. Martin's meal, midnight feast, and 3 a.m. snack. Some of those are not real. Most of them are. Like if you've ever watched the Hobbits talk about all their food, yes, 11s is a thing. It's a little snack you have at 11 a.m. just to keep you going till lunch. 12s, made up. Lunch, fine. Après lunch, that's made up. Tiffin and tea can also be used for dinner or supper. Dinner can be used interchangeably with lunch, tiffin, and tea, or supper.
Why even bother giving all of these meals names at all if they're all interchangeable? Just call them meal.
Well, see, the thing is, dinner means the main meal of the day. So if you have your main meal of the day in the afternoon, that could be lunch. It's also your dinner. Whereas at night you have a small supper. And all that. Tiffin is, I believe that comes from India. The word is of Indian origin, and it just means a light meal, usually, little snacks, pastries, that sort of thing. Same thing with tea. Tea could be your main evening meal, or it could just be a little light snacky thing. And the rest are pretty much made up. Anyway, let's talk about vegan stuff.
Yeah.
Because I know we've got at least one vegan out there.
And all of the stuff he's about to talk about is delicious.
Yeah. Now, over in England, we call a vegetable a swede, which is known here as a rutabaga, or known here in the States as a rutabaga. It's also a type of turnip. We've got a lot of vegetables that are a lot more commonly used over there than they are here. Here, it's basically potatoes, carrots, broccoli, cauliflower. That's all you get when you go out to eat. But yeah, you can get
peas. You can get peas.
Peas. I mentioned peas, didn't I?
Okay.
I forget.
Double peas.
Anyway, yeah. Parsnips are very good. Runner beans, that's something you don't get over here. They're basically big, long green beans that are absolutely delicious.
What about mange tout?
Mange tout. That's a type of pea. It's not like a snap pea, which you can also eat whole, but basically it's small and almost flattened. I think there's a name for them here, but I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. I'm sure someone will kindly chime in the comments. But we also get some fruit that you don't get here: black currants, red currants, and gooseberries. They're all related, and the reason you don't get them here so much is because back in the 30s, it was discovered that these plants had the potential to carry a fungus which could blight American tree crops. So they were banned, and the U.S. government had ordered them all destroyed. So you don't get them growing here anymore. But you can go to, say, high-end supermarkets and get Ribena, which is a fruit juice concentrate made out of blackcurrant juice. And you pour a little bit of that into the bottom of a glass and then top it up with water, and you've got a delicious, refreshing blackcurrant drink, which has more vitamin C than orange juice.
So I want to interject and say that the first time when I went to England, which was many years before I met Nigel, when I first had Ribena, I didn't like it. I did not like it. I thought, I was used to like Concord grape juice and stuff like that. So to me, this was like, oh, what is this? But the thing is, after I got a little older and I started drinking it again, I liked it more. I just had to kind of develop a taste for it. So if you see it, maybe I was just like mentally thinking, this is grape. And then it wasn't great.
Yeah.
Wasn't great. It wasn't grape, which wasn't great.
Yeah.
And then I got used to it, and I actually quite like it now.
Yeah. Lucky Girl 322 chimes in from Northamptonshire, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, she is. I have that here.
Yeah. With courgette. And that's basically what's known as zucchini here. So we get those. And there are whole bunches of apple and potato varieties that you don't get here in the USA.
I like your pre-done ready meals because they do TV dinners exceptionally well. Like if you go to a Marks and Spencer's,
get the ready meals.
Oh my God, they're so good. It's like their whole grocery store is made of like meal kits, essentially. It's fantastic. I want to point out that Becca would like you to make her a cocktail, so when we make refills, you should probably hook her up. Okay.
I'll send one to you through the Wi-Fi.
Tara says that she is wearing her Mirabella right now.
Excellent.
Hi, thank you. I'm not wearing any here today because I'm just completely dressing down. I just felt like kicking back and not even thinking about it. If I'm letting the skin breathe, might as well just go full on schlump, I guess. But Keanu, I've got Keanu representing, so I'm good. Shauna says that she's at work. That's all right. You're holding it down, and then you can reward yourself later. And Serena says that she is washing her Anya.
Hi, Serena.
That's super cool. May said that the best advice she ever got was to stop using any skin products, even soap on face. I also don't use soap products if I can help it on my face. The only time I really have to use that kind of stuff is if I wear a full face of makeup sometimes, especially the long wear stuff. I have to use like emollient products to kind of break it up and get it off, and I don't want that stuff clogging my pores, so I will usually try to break it up with something more astringent. But this is where we get to the limits of my knowledge, and I do not want to be one of those pretentious people that pretends I know what I'm talking about. So once I get into like the specifics of astringents, that is still a mystery wrapped within an enigma to me, and I have to research it more. But I'm learning. I'm getting there. If I find any juicy research, I will let you guys know. And we have some folks who are like, yeah, retinol, way to go. Totally. 100% agree. Let's see. And what did I see? I saw Bettina said, I'm almost 60 and still deal with oily skin. But the good part about that is your skin looks great. Like from your thumbnail, like you don't have a ton of deep wrinkles or anything like that. You look fantastic for somebody who's almost 60. And that might just be because your skin self-moisturizes as well. It's kind of like a double-edged sword, like my skin is very dry most of the time. And I struggle with that because of this stuff. Like it dries my skin right out. So I have dry skin. And while makeup stays on me really well, it stays on me really well. It's very difficult to wash off sometimes. And I have to moisturize constantly, which is another reason why I can't do the no products on my face, because I take a medication that basically strips my face of its natural oils from the inside. And it can actually make me really susceptible to irritation and stuff like that. So it's a balancing act for sure. But honestly, a lot of the stuff that I deal with is to counteract some of the side effects of being on an androgen blocking medication that dries me out. So, everybody's a little bit different, right?
Just wanted to address this. Liz says, my English grandmother is from Lancashire. My dad was born in Lancashire. Our family regiment is the Lancashire Fusiliers, which used to be XX, the 20th of Foot from the East Devon Regiment, but that got moved up to Lancashire. So that's where my dad was born.
All right. Let's see. Serene said, I've been in the garden all day, so I'm 100% with you, Heather. No hair, don't care, but Mirabelle and Anya are both absolutely. Thank you so much. I am so happy to hear when people like the stuff that I've made, because it's like such a long process that it's like extremely gratifying, and I love the feedback, by the way, that people have been giving me about the cap fits and the constructions and stuff like that, because particularly with the Mirabella, hearing that the skin part worked out really well, that's great news.
Oh yeah,
I would love
that was a great comment we got earlier today.
I would absolutely love to do more stuff like that, because it helps keep the price point down, but it looks good. Like, it looks really convincing, and it's not as heavy. Like, I have some Forever Young wigs, for example, that use that kind of like hard disc. And they look cute, but they definitely feel super heavy, like costume wigs. And they're not comfortable, because all day you got that like rigid disc just kind of riding around in the same spot all day long. So it's always good to hear about that. All right, I'll let you keep going. I'm sorry to take up so much time. We had good comments.
Tara said, my favorite British food discovery is crumpets and then Cornish pasties. Well, I'm getting to Cornish pasties later. But yeah, crumpets. Oh, love crumpets. Mm-hmm. Fantastic stuff. Yes, definitely. Right. So, drinking stuff. You know, tea. We're famous for tea and beer. Cider. We do alcoholic cider. We don't call it hard cider. We just call it cider. Yeah. Same way we don't call binge drinking. We just call it drinking. But yeah. I mean, cider is supposed to be alcoholic, and there's no such thing as pear cider. I'm telling you right now, there's no such thing as pear cider. If it's made out of pears, it's perry.
Whatever it is, it's delicious.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not saying it's not delicious, but it's not pear cider, unless it's actually cider mixed with pear juice. It's perry. Anyway, yes.
I love how you British men can turn anything into a rant, and then eventually it becomes like frustrated British.
Oh, you should see me go into full Basil Fawlty mode. I can go into full Basil Fawlty mode. I'm from Torquay.
Can you give us a demonstration, please?
No, some other time.
Oh man,
I've got stuff to get through here.
All right, fine.
But yeah, no, Ribena I mentioned earlier. That's fun. Mead, we've got some good mead going. At least we did when I left England a couple of years ago. Lime Bay Winery. That's Lyme. Lime Bay Winery. Fantastic section of meads. And we've also got a bunch of soft drinks that we don't get here in the USA, like Lilt, which is a Coca-Cola product. That's grapefruit and pineapple, which is lovely and refreshing. Mm-hmm. Several flavors of Fanta you don't get here. There's a marvelous tropical fruit soda my friend and coworker Sean, hi Sean, introduced us to, called Rio. That comes in a couple different flavors. And then there's the
Rio and she dances on the sand.
And then there's the Scottish, I have not spelt that wrong, that is pronounced Iron Brew. It's orange, it tastes very sweet. And there you go. That's Iron Brew.
Hold on, we have some amazing comments, and you have to.
All right,
you have to take a look.
Okay, let me get over here, and then go with the comments then.
Okay, so here we go. Hold on, I'm going up. Shauna says she got Mirabella today. I absolutely can't wait to try on. Here, hold on.
Excellent.
Now I'm on camera. Okay, so Liz is expressing her disdain and disapproval for the new hairdo wigs. I have not seen them personally. I've been trying to focus on my own stuff. But I can imagine that is probably accurate. She's pretty knowledgeable about these things. Becca would like to know, is cider sweet?
Depends on what you get. Normally, the way British people make cider is they take the apples that are too sour for making into pies or sauce or for eating, and they press the juice out and make it. I find British cider generally not to be to my liking. You want really good alcoholic cider? I'm going to say Woodchuck Amber.
Which is American, I think.
Which is American. It's from Vermont, and it's amazing.
It is sweet, though.
That is sweet. British cider is mostly dry and sour, but there are some good ones. There's one you can get in Sainsbury's. It's made for Sainsbury's by, I believe it's St. Aspel cider. It's elderflower Suffolk cider.
That sounds very good.
And it's
like I want it now.
well, it's made much like woodchuck with eating apples and champagne yeast, but they also throw in some elderflower.
It's the elderflower that gets me. I love flower flavored things. Maybe it's because I have a flower name.
Yeah.
But that's even weirder than because I'm like a flower cannibal.
No, but it does.
Analogy.
it does taste amazing, and it makes it just a bit more tart. So it's amazing stuff.
So he wants to know the skin part, or she says the skin part is amazing. It looks realistic, and it doesn't cut my head like monofilm it does. Yes, yay! I love the way that cap feels too. Of the ones I've created so far, that is literally the one I wear around the house the most. Plus, I just like the way the hair swishes around, and I kind of find myself inadvertently going like this without realizing it. Probably walk around like I got some kind of like balance issue.
I'm eating alcoholic strawberries.
Yay! You're living the dream. We've established this. So, Lucky Girl 322 says, squash, the drink, and not the vegetable.
Yes, excellent.
So both are delightful.
Excellent point. Squash, the drink, is basically another concentrate that you buy and then add a little bit to the bottom of a glass and then fill up. You can get all sorts of flavors. You get lemon and orange and lime and just all kinds of squash. Basically, any concentrate you buy that you can then dilute later at home is called a squash.
Yeah. Faith says she has Mirabelle on too. She got it today in Beach House. That would look so good in Beach House.
Excellent.
And she says that she loves it. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that.
Excellent.
I can't even help myself from like clapping. I get so excited about this stuff. I like catch myself after the fact, like, what am I doing with my body right now? But I'm so excited to hear that because it's just nice to share something. It's like kind of weirdly intimate, you know, to like take something from your head and make it a thing and then have other people like that thing and want to wear that thing. It's just such an interesting and fun process. So I'm so happy that you like the end result because for one, it justifies me doing it more. Yay. But it also like makes me feel like I don't know. It's such a positive sensation to feel like I'm helping people and making them feel like more comfortable or like they're just having fun expressing themselves. It's a cool sensation.
Definitely.
Kathy says that non-alcoholic cider is just apple juice.
Exactly correct. Exactly correct.
Okay, let's see. I lost my place. It totally moved on me.
Yeah, now you see what I have to do with every week when I do the comments.
Serene says that Tom and I made some English muffins from scratch. Oh my gosh. I wouldn't even know how to do that, but it sounds delicious. It sounds like your house probably smelled amazing.
If it deals with whipping up batter, then leave that to me.
Oh, we made pancakes like super late at night. And by the way, Dylan99 says she loves basil. So I think that's 2 votes for you doing the basil Folty impression.
Yes, dear. I'm doing it, dear.
Yay.
Bloody cow.
Ah!
That was my impression of Basil Fawlty, not a commentary on my wife, because I love my wife.
He's a good husband. He does not call me a bloody cow.
No.
Oh man, that's a weird curse. Like that's a weird curse. Like my brain immediately, like because I'm autistic, I immediately make these things literal. You understand that, right? So to me, these things become instantly absurd because I see a picture of a cow with like, you know, like fake horror movie blood all over it, like the kind that's
Hammer
like,
horror films.
Like it's all, yeah, like the kind Christopher Lee would have dripping out of his mouth. Except, you know, it tastes like corn syrup. So the cow's like licking it off. Like my brain does these weird things that are just super literal, and then it becomes like a story. Boy, autism.
Yes.
Let's see, Deidre. This is an important question.
Yes, it is. Deidre, mead is fantastic. It is the oldest alcoholic beverage known to humanity. Right? It's before beer, before wine. It's at least 10,000 years old.
Whoa.
Yeah. And what it is honey mixed with water and a bit of yeast to ferment it. That's what it is. And basically it turns into a sort of honey wine. And there are loads of different recipes out there. You can make your own, or you can buy it from meaderies or liquor stores or anything like that. But if you like honey, mead is quite good. And you can flavor it with nectars, flower syrups, fruit syrups, or just have mead, just have the honey drink. And I love it. as absolutely delicious. It's good and strong too.
Yeah, we have 2 other votes for elderflower. Liz said she uses elderflower syrup and things, mix it with club soda, and it tastes like champagne.
Oh, yeah.
Elderflower is
Bloody, we've got an elderflower liqueur downstairs.
So good, and it makes everything taste so refined.
Yeah.
You know, and then she says it tastes like champagne. Right on. It's I never would have made that association, but when you say that, it kind of does. Yeah.
I think next week we'll make an elderflower drink.
Ooh, yeah, we really should.
Yeah.
And yeah, Andrea is also a fan. I usually get the it's a ripoff of I'm gonna butcher the name. You should say it because you speak French.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saint-Germain.
There you go. Thank you. Because I would just butcher the name because I've got that Ohio twang going on. But it's called St. Elder, and it's a little sweeter, but it's more or less the same flavor. I think that's what we have downstairs. I like to buy a lot of different alcohol, so I tend to not spend a ton unless, you know, it's like one of the crucial mixers or something. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and hand it back over to you, and then we'll take some more comments. We've got some more good ones coming in.
All righty. Now, once we've got past the fruit and vegetables and the drinks, we're going to talk about everything else. Now, the meat, eggs, and dairy in Britain are going to taste different simply because of the feed that's used and the way the animals are treated. We use grass-fed animals mostly, or foraging animals. I'm not going to lie. I'm sure there are battery farms and some place and such like there, but we do a lot of free range stuff, and there's a lot of economic pressure to make the meat industry as cruelty free as possible. So there's a lot of free range stuff going on now, and there is a huge difference when it comes to the grass fed versus American corn fed. And the yolks of the eggs, they're like nearly orange. They're so rich. And huge eggs. Can't stress that enough.
They keep their eggs on the shelf.
Yeah, we don't wash them. It's funny because if you wash your eggs and then take them to market, it does something to the eggs, and they have to be refrigerated or they go off. If you just put them in an egg carton and take them to the supermarket with the chicken shit and the feathers still sticking to them and all the other secretions, the natural chicken
Have I mentioned
things.
That you should never, ever go into food marketing? Ever.
Yeah. But somehow you send them to the market with all that stuff stuck to them, and they can last out in the open without being refrigerated for like a week.
No, I'm literally dying right now. Okay, not literally, but literally. No, I'm
literally.
I'm dying because the whole time he's explaining this, I'm imagining the carton for the eggs saying now with extra chicken shit and excretions. Because he just talked about that. Like, that's like a selling point. Oh.
Happy to help, Deirdre.
Oh, goodness. I'm sorry. Maybe that was just me. Oh. Or maybe it's the alcohol. I'm going to blame it on the alcohol. So.
And now, speaking of eggs, we're going to talk about the FEB, or the Full English Breakfast. Now, if you look at our thumbnail, the Full English Breakfast is in the upper right corner, one version of it anyway, and it is a doozy. You get back bacon, sausages, also known as bangers, eggs, toast, black pudding, which is a blood sausage, white pudding, which is a sausage without the blood.
Oh.
Yeah. White pudding is just black pudding without the blood in it.
Black pudding's so gross.
It's cakey.
It's disgusting.
Baked beans, which I can do without because I fucking hate baked beans. They're disgusting. Mushrooms, grilled tomato. Sometimes you get hash browns or haggis or bubble and squeak, which is sort of leftover potato and cabbage and onions that have fried up from the night before and thrown in. Oat cakes, if you're in Scotland or Ireland or whatever. Kippers, which are smoked fish, which reek to high heaven and low hell. and you're going to need a lot of Febreze. Kedgeree, which is based on an Indian dish, which uses, again, smoked fish, but it's also rice and hard-boiled eggs and cream, salt, pepper, butter, parsley, stuff like that. I make a decent spiced Kedgeree knockoff, which I occasionally do for dinner. Heather seems to like that.
It's very good.
And the fried slice, which is essentially you take a slice of white bread and then you throw it in the pan where you've been frying everything so it soaks up all the fat and gets fatty and crunchy and delicious.
Hold on, we have
Sure.
a couple of more comments I would like to see.
Hmm.
You address, well, for one, I want to show you that I am not alone in thinking that black pudding is disgusting.
No.
So, hooray.
Well, it's one of those things that I have to be in the mood for. It's not something I can just instantly see and instantly want. I got to be in the mood for it. Like, it's been 2 years since I've had some. I have to reassert my Englishness. It's like recharging.
I'm never in the mood for it, just for the record.
I hope get some black pudding in me.
Yeah, gross. That's all you. Are the baked beans in the UK the same or similar as baked beans in the US?
Yes, they're both disgusting. I hate baked beans. I don't like any baked beans whatsoever.
Tina says no haggis.
I quite like haggis. I mean, you remember the Copthorne Gatwick Hotel, right?
Yeah.
Well, the last chef that was there, he was Scottish, and he did a big haggis thing one day, and there was a lot left over, so he used it in a lot of his dishes, and I tried it for the first time. Bloody amazing. It's just basically a giant sausage. So if you like sausage, there you go. Just don't think about what's in it.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Tara says it's nice that the trend now in America is going back to this type of farming. So like farm table type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it comes with a very high price tag.
Oh, definitely.
I think that in the UK, the price tag is just high for all food. Like
the price tag is high for everything, basically.
It's expensive to live in an island country.
Yeah.
Full stop. Anytime you hear about that, like Japan, any of those heavily populated island countries, everything's expensive.
It's so crowded, we don't have enough room to grow our own food, so we've got to import everything. It would be nice if people stopped having like 18 kids per family, but oh well, that's just me being salty. 65 million people, 1/5 of the population of the United States crammed into 1/40th of the space. Yeah, we need...
Yeah,
we need room to grow food.
We have agreement on folks who say that baked beans are gross. One of the nastiest things I ever encountered was that 50-50 tuna sweet corn and baked bean pizza.
Pizzas with baked beans on them. Yes.
No, it was like 50-50. Like one half was like tuna and sweet corn.
Yeah.
And the other half was, what is wrong with people? Like this goes back to that point where like we were trying to talk about how great English food actually is, but it's like you guys are defeating our attempts to try to make it sound like your food is good when you make stuff like that.
Heather, your country makes aerosol cheese.
Whatever. Don't knock it till you try it. Squeezy cheese has its purposes. Mainly when you're too tired to make actual food, or you're playing video games and can't be bothered.
Yes.
And you have crackers on hand. It's important to have your squeezy cheese.
Well, look, some people are basically weaned on baked beans. They go bottle baked beans, and it's just that's what they grow up with. That's what they like. It's comfort food for them. I just hate the things.
But Tina says kind of like Hawaii. Yeah. Oh yeah, same principle basically. And hello, Henrietta.
Henrietta from Devon. Hello again.
Karma would like to know what's the difference between kidney pie and shepherd's pie.
Damn fine question, and it's an excellent question because I keep seeing people.
I'll leave that there so people know what you're in.
Yeah, I keep people in the U.S. talking about shepherd's pie, but they make it out of beef. No, shepherd's pie is made out of lamb because shepherds look after lambs. That's how that works. If it's got beef in it, it's probably a cottage pie. As for kidney pie, usually what it is, it's steak and kidney. Because if it was just kidney, it would be not that tasty. But if you mix it with steak, it just gives it a little bit of a tang to it. I know that sounds a bit weird and a bit sick, but quite frankly, I don't
Talking
care.
about innards and animals, so I don't.
Yeah.
I think we're beyond that point.
Awful.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, usually it's steak and kidney pie, not just kidney pie, but it's one of those things. If you try it and you like it, that's fine. If you try it and you don't like it, that's also fine. But it's one of those things you have to try to get a really good handle on, because when I tried it, it did not taste as I expected it to, which wasn't a bad thing, and I quite like it. But it's another one of those things I really got to be in the mood for.
I wanted to come back up here and see what we got here. Shauna says, "Why would anyone do that to a poor defenseless pizza?"
Cultural ignorance, Shauna. Cultural ignorance.
And the response to the aerosol cheese.
Oops.
From Deidre, you know, I think that goes to prove that, like, you know, I don't think people are really ever like proud that they eat squeezy cheese. It's just one of those things that like poor broke like youngsters do, or when they're hanging out with their friends, they know that their parents will think that this is like bad for them. Oh, you know, they just love it. Oh gosh, somebody's probably gonna make a meme of me doing that now. And let's see. So Reed says, "I have a bit of an aversion to organ meats, especially those which filter toxins from your body. They have such a funk to them."
Yeah, but that's why they're washed and rinsed and so forth.
You can't wash
soaked.
that level of funk away. It's just too funky.
Adds a piquancy.
Sure.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right, you're up.
Right, let's go with some more stuff. Yorkshire pudding and toad in the hole. These are both dishes based around what's called a batter pudding, which is basically you mix up a batter, like with pancakes, only you pour them into a searing hot pan and bake it in the oven. A searing hot pan filled with fat, and bake it in the oven, and it rises up, so almost like an airbag, and cooks nicely, gets a nice crispy coating, tender on the inside if you do it right. Yorkshire pudding is just the batter in the oven, rises up. Great. Toad in the hole is when you put sausages in the batter and it rises up around the sausages. Now, Yorkshire pudding can also be eaten as a dessert with jam, and that's how culturally how it's often done in Yorkshire itself, but often it's used as an accompaniment for a roast dinner on Sundays, and then it's really good for sopping up gravy. It's fantastic. You like a bit of Yorkshire pudding, don't you?
Oh, yes. Oh, and Henrietta has a good point.
Yes.
Popovers in America are very similar.
Yeah, so I've heard. I've not eaten one myself.
She's right. They're very similar. And Kathy says, yes, Yorkshire pudding is so good, and she is all about that toad in the hole. It is. It's delightful.
Oh, yeah.
Food at its finest.
Horrible name, but darned if it isn't delicious.
Whatever, I think it has an awesome name. It's memorable. My company's name has the word cyst in it.
Yeah. Any other comments before I get to the next topic?
Go ahead.
Right, okay. Now then, here's the thing. What do we mean by pudding?
Oh, this is a good one.
Because I've been using this word a lot, and it has a lot of different meanings in the UK. Does it mean the custardy dessert that is known in America? Does it just mean dessert? Does it mean a sausage? Is it batter? Yes, all of those. It's derived from the Latin word botellus, which means sausage, and the French boudin comes from the same word. Now, you can use pudding to mean any type of dessert whatsoever. You know, it could be a cake. It could be, jelly with cream on top. It can also mean a sausage, like black pudding, white pudding, hog's pudding. It could be a batter pudding, like Yorkshire pudding, toad in the hole. It has so many meanings, and basically you just use it to mean a homogeneous mixture of food that comes out in a cylinder, I suppose, generally. But yeah, okay.
Delicious food log.
Delicious food log. Now then.
You want to take some comments?
Let's take some comments, yeah.
All right. So Deidre wants to know, what is in Berkshire pudding?
Berkshire pudding.
Ah, I said it wrong. My apologies.
Right. Actually,
how am I supposed to know when you spell it that way? England.
Arkansas, Heather. Arkansas. And I don't know, so I'm looking it up.
All right.
It doesn't say. Oh, here we go.
What?
Mix sugar and butter until creamy. Melt chocolate and cool slightly. Add to creamy mixture. Oh, I like the sound of this.
That sounds like a world of yes so far.
Berkshire pudding. Right. Okay. I'm going to keep that tab open and come back to that. Oh, yes. Berkshire pudding. Yes. I don't know, but I'll look into it.
Henrietta says that Nigella Lawson calls it thunder and lightning when it's served with golden syrup and cream.
Funny you should say that.
She's so pretty, by the way.
Funny you should say that, because that thunder and lightning brings me to Devonshire cream tea versus Cornish cream tea. What's the difference?
Oh, no.
In Devon, the cream goes onto the scone first, and the jam goes on top. And in Cornwall, the jam goes on first. In Cornwall, jam goes on first. And then you put the cream on top. Yes, wars have been fought over this.
For real?
Yeah. And if you look, no. But it causes a lot of heated harumphing.
Oh, we must avoid the heated harumphing at all costs. The power of that many harumphs cannot be contained.
Yeah, but if you look at the thumbnail, down on the bottom near the center is a Cornish cream tea. I know I'm from Devon, but I figured I'd extend an olive branch and put a Cornish cream tea on the thumbnail. But yeah, and clotted cream.
Sounds disgusting.
It sounds absolutely disgusting, but basically they take cream and they boil it and stir it until it turns into really, 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 really thick, creamy glob that defies gravity. So you can just sort of like scoop it out, plop it on a scone, turn it upside down, and it just stays there. Real cream defies gravity. But it's thick, it's extremely rich. Heather loves it. My entire family loves it, and it's fantastic. Now, and the other thing is, Henrietta said thunder and lightning. Yeah, if you put cream on a scone and drizzle some golden syrup on it, yeah, you can call that thunder and lightning too. So, fantastic.
I just wanted to add, how can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat?
Exactly. Okay. In that case, pudding meaning dessert.
Yeah.
All righty.
But you can imagine, as a kid in America, I was like, why is he being so rude about pudding? What is so special about pudding that I have to... he's being very aggressive about pudding somehow.
Yeah, Henrietta says clotted cream acts like the butter. Now, this is my reasoning for putting the cream on first and then the jam. You put the cream on, that stuff is thick. That will stick to the scone, and then you can push a little divot in it and then put in the jam, and the divot holds the jam. To me, it just makes sense. But then again, I'm Devonian. So
Kathleen says we're making her hungry. Hi, Kathleen.
Hi, Kathleen.
Let's see what we got here. Explain builder's tea.
Builder's tea is when you make tea extremely strong and with lots of sugar. So basically, I saw a great meme that said, real tea is the color of He-Man. And it shows the 1980s He-Man in his very deep tan superimposed against a cup of tea, and it's exactly the same color. So it's really, really strong tea with like 4 sugars in it and a good amount of milk, so it comes out He-Man color. And Shelley asks an absolutely stonking question. Are British scones different from USA scones? Yes. Scones shouldn't be triangular. Okay? I'm going to say that now. Scones should be round. That's the main difference. The taste is the same. The consistency is the same. It's all good, except for some reason they're made triangular here in the USA. Probably to keep them distinct from Southern biscuits. So, yeah.
I don't know. As a transplant to the South, though, a good Southern biscuit is heaven.
I'm not saying they're not good. They're bloody amazing. Yeah. They're bloody amazing. I just don't think they should be called biscuits.
Yeah, I think they've earned the right to, if they're done well, to avoid that level of scrutiny, though. We can have they can coexist as two different delicious things named biscuits.
Oh yeah.
know?
I just call them Southern biscuits.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
they're good. I'll eat them. They're delicious.
Yeah.
They're light and flaky.
Apparently, we do that. Andrea's got the recipe for clotted cream.
Outstanding.
Yes.
Basically, it's a copper vessel and lots of stirring.
I think that I would love to hear how that went because
Yeah.
it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It was wonderful, but
Yeah.
I
You bring some of that clotted cream
That's
over.
right.
We'll provide the drinks.
yeah, we'll get some strawberries.
Yeah.
We'll eat things. It'll
Get
be
some
wonderful.
ridiculously triangular scones from a local coffee shop.
Henrietta wants to know biscuits and gravy. What's that all about? Okay, so we got to explain a Southern biscuit real quick.
Yeah, Southern biscuit is shaped like a scone, only it's light and flaky. It's very flaky. It's
And savory.
and yeah, it's savory. It's made with buttermilk and like it's brushed with butter with a little bit of salt sprinkled on top.
It's got a ton of butter in it.
And it's got a ton of butter in it and buttermilk, and it's very nice.
It's a little bit like a savory scone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but I mean the texture is different.
Yeah.
It's a lot fluffier, flakier.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like a mix between like a croissant and a scone.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can imagine a scone with more croissant-like flakiness and layers to it, that's pretty much a Southern
So they
biscuit.
put-
Though I have had some crumbly ones.
So they
but-
put gravy on that. It's almost like if Americans had invented poutine and replaced some of the ingredients out, the
Yeah.
concept's kind of the same. You got your starch with a lot of fattiness to it,
Mm.
and then on top of it, you get the gravy and meat portion with maybe cheese.
But here's the thing. The gravy is usually country gravy, which is like pan drippings with flour and milk or cream and lumps of sausage meat in it. So when they say biscuits and gravy, it's sausage gravy in a sort of cream gravy. And, I was skeptical when I first heard about it. And when I first tried it, it was disgusting because the sausage gravy tasted like lumps of gray gristle in wallpaper paste that had been warmed up. But then I had good sausage gravy and biscuits, and that's nice.
And on the same note, Shelley wanted to know if scones can be made sugar-free. There are savory ones. You can
Yeah.
make cheese ones.
Cheese scones. Yeah, I've
So
had
they
cheese
don't-
scones.
They're delightful.
Mm.
So they don't even need to be dessert items.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Bettina makes up a great point.
Yeah.
One that you will agree with.
Yes, not everyone's gravy is good. Yeah. I've had her aunt's gravy. That's very nice. I've had gravy from Mike's Place. Plugging to Mike's Place. This is not a paid advertisement for Mike's Place at the Brimfield-Kent border in Ohio, but it is a very nice place to eat, and I highly recommend it because they do good sausage gravy and
And they
biscuits.
have an X-wing in the parking lot.
Oh yeah, they have an X-wing in the parking lot
Like an X-wing, an X-wing in the
Yeah.
parking lot.
and a castle tower with a catapult that's pointed at the Bob Evans down the street.
Or you can eat in a school bus.
Or you can eat in a bus. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or a boat.
it's pretty cool.
Mm.
Mike's Place. It's like an institution in Kent.
Mm.
And-
But yeah, I think we're kind of running out of time if we're going to have dinner tonight.
Oh, that's right. Well, I do want to talk about the sausage gravy at my
Go for it.
family's restaurant.
Go for it.
I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with Maslin, Ohio, but if you're ever in the area, go to the Cameo Grill. It's like a little hole in the wall, but it's like a Maslin institution, and my family runs the place. Like not me directly, but like my cousin runs the place, and they my aunt before her owned the place, and it's just their sausage gravy is too spicy for me to tolerate, but it's delightful. Pre-sleeve, it was basically the best I'd ever had, but I can't eat it now. But if you have an intact stomach and you like spicy sausage gravy and you're ever in Ohio, I highly recommend it. Let's see. Oh, there is the Pig and Whistle.
The Pig and Whistle in Little Hempston. Yes, absolutely. Pig and Whistle. We've talked about that
Yeah.
before. Henrietta brought it up before.
Yeah.
It's I think you missed that last time, Henrietta, because we talked about Devonian places. We've got the video and the replay, but we talked about the Pig and Whistle. I hope it's still up and running because it's bloody amazing.
Sorry, I'm laughing at a comment. Shauna said, I guess I'm totally Southern. Gravy should be a food group.
That's not just a Southern thing. English people love gravy as well. I mean, bloody hell.
It should be a food group. I agree.
Gravy should be a food
The
group.
gravy food group.
Yeah.
Adds flavor to everything.
Oh, here's a good question. Kim says maple syruping. Anything like that happen at a certain time of the year there, or mushrooms? Well, you do get people mushrooms. do get people going berry picking. But we don't have sugar maples in the UK, really. But yeah, we get like foraging stuff at different times of year. Like I said, mushrooms and fruit and berries and stuff. There's Bill Bailey, the British comedian from the West Country, made a good comment. There's a something called scrumping, where you go stealing other people's apples, and it's got its own name. It's got its own weird, archaic name, scrumping, or as he calls it, fruit larceny.
That sounds like it should be a band name immediately.
Fruit larceny?
Fruit larceny.
Yeah. Anyway, we're running out of time here for tonight.
Right. Yeah, we have a plan to order. There's this place in town that's actually English themed. So we're gonna look at Nigel's face. We're gonna get some English theme to reward him for leading us in such a wonderful live stream this evening. So yeah. I think he's very eager.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing is, you have to place these orders, or they close up, and you don't get to eat. It's rather like being in England, actually, where every time you want something, it bloody closes on you. But anyway, not that I'm bitter.
By the way, just before we go, the Pig and Whistle's still open.
Yes!
Yeah, so on that note, we are going to bid you adieu until next week.
And for the record, I've got lots of material I didn't cover today, so possible future episodes.
We can do it again sometime.
Yes.
So thank you so much for joining us. And,
yes, indeedy.
We look forward to seeing you then. Bye.
Indeed.
Everybody.
Bye.
Have a nice weekend.
Yeah, take it easy, and thank